have a multiple DApp, and we can really leverage the ONT blockchain platform and the service, especially, for example, the ontology ID. It really can be used on our app, some decentralized app, for example, our decentralized VPN app, and it could be used for like login, account login. It's very useful. So that's the purpose of the collaboration between ontology and Tor Network.
So how about Jun?
Yeah, I think ontologists want to collaborate with service or application. And Tor Network is kind of decentralized network, very happy with this kind of application. That's communication easily to some service very quick, decentralized network service. So and integrated with Tor infrastructure, we can collaborate with service for all developers. So it's good.
Okay, so thank you. And the second question is, it's maybe for Steve. And so is Tor an ecosystem partner with ontology? So how will this collaboration benefit or affect the ontology consensus network and its ecosystem?
The Tor network, I mean the decentralized communication network, we actually have a lot of volume of the service, and in the end, the volume transaction, I mean, will be passed to the ontology ecosystem. For example, the volume of transactions, the settlement, and for example, let's say our decentralized communication apps, we have many, very large number of DAUs, and those usages generate transactions, and the transaction goes to the platform, and even for the ONT ID, if we use on our DF as a login or for account registration, there's also a lot of volume. So in the end, I believe we will bring the massive volume activity to the ontology ecosystem.
Okay, so Jun, do you have anything to add? And do you think this with Tor network and will be benefit to ontology?
Yeah, I think it's the special service, especially central, where we have a lot of scenarios to do it, especially for different, maybe some different scenarios, different application industry. Communication is still one of the basic infrastructure of service. So the Tor network, those kind of decentralized service and communication service will have for the easy reusable service they needed to buy a lot of things by themselves. So they were very happy.
Okay. So at what level of Tor network will ontology infrastructure be used, and what benefit is that to the ontology ecosystem? And maybe Steve, you can go ahead.
Say again.
Yeah, at what layer of Tor network will ontology infrastructure be used, and of what benefit is there to ontology system?
Okay, so I think there are several layers. Underlying layer, of course, is the underlying the public blockchain platform. So the transaction need to be recorded on the blockchain. Yeah. So the first of all, the blockchain layer. Secondly, I think is the service layer, as I mentioned, the ONT ID, that's obviously in the service layer. Yeah. So we are going to leverage both the service layer and the blockchain layer on ontology.
And Jun, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, the system, since just mentioned before, centralized communication is actually also is media level strong infrastructure. That is ontology community still not. So we need this kind of centralized protocol and service based ontology to give us complex service for users. Okay, so maybe which ontology depths or tools will Tor network adapt or integrate with ontology? Is question for you. Yeah, first of course, ontology, ONT ID, decentralized agreement. Network, individuals, this kind of decentralized communications. And the ONT data, we call it DDXF. It's kind of decentralized data exchange. When you do the decentralized communication, a lot of data exchange based on transaction chain. Keep the ownership from different scenarios.
Okay, so currently there's a very hot topic about the 51% attack in blockchain industry. So both of your projects are developing the blockchain. So how do Tor Network and Ontology provide network decentralization and protection against different types of attacks? And Jun, you may go first.
Yeah, the 51 attack. That is more based on people. Since people control powers. And the ontology since use node. Since node is that's mechanism for the BBFT. It's actually integrated with posts and URF verified under function. Those kind of nodes based on the consensus node by the validating group and by the candidate pool and by the people with POS mechanism. So that will avoid the 51% attack content. Also can keep some kind of decentralized level as a consensus mechanism. That's what we are doing. Solution.
For Tor Network, actually, it doesn't have 51% attack because what we are doing is a blockchain platform, not a blockchain platform. We are doing actually decentralized communication, and the communication is a quality-based service, and anybody can contribute the nodes to provide communication service. Means like a packet relay. So let's say somebody want to add 10,000 servers communication into the system. We are fine because those 10,000 servers only provide communication service, and the communication service is encrypted, and they cannot see any content in the communication. For example, you send a message, VPN, whatever communication service, the content is encrypted. So it's only the node only provided the communication service. It's not like for consensus verified transactions. So we really don't care about the 51%. We actually wish as many people come to the system and add more servers to the node. So that's very different. We are in the service layer, and the service is encrypted. So there is no 51%. And for the public blockchain, Jun already explained, they have a DPoS those kind of things to prevent that.
Okay, so thank you both, and we have answered five questions, and we got some feedback from the community, and they're so impressed by your answers. And because maybe it's because of some connection issues, and you may want to raise your voice so that all the community members can hear your answers more clearly. Okay, so we all know that the token economy is very important, especially in the blockchain industry. And so will Tor be added to an in-net exchange of ontology? Jun, can you answer this question?
Yeah, since I'm token economic for public chains quite important. Most countries, for example, traditionally the public blockchain like Ethereum, is kind of the utility token. They are used for the transaction fee. This is good, but one thing is they will not benefit to the other token holders, no matter how many transaction fee being charged them. So other token holder, ETH holder, will not going to benefit. So utility token, so ontology designs kind of dual token protocols, dual token mechanism. Why is utility token like the gas can be used? Another is governance token. ONT is governance token. ONG is utility. ONG can be used again and again with circle. And when the UNG used in ontology system for the smart contract or transaction, will return to the ONT holder, but not a directly return, otherwise like a security. But ONT holder can do the contribution for the consensus process, put some stake and join the consensus process and do some contribution for the ecosystem, they will get a return. That means when you hold the ONT, you can generate the ONT every day, have the ONT generated. You can use as a utility token to use the system. But long term, when the ontology ecosystem be enlarged, and you will get benefits from the transaction fee increasement. So that is important token economics currently. First, due token, those kind of mechanisms.
Okay. Okay. So because we got some feedback and the voice still so low, so I'm trying to move it closer.
Okay.
So that maybe
yes, that's close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Jun, maybe you want to try big cases. Okay. So thank you for the answer just now. And the next question is for Steve. And so the Top Network have token airdrop for ontology holders. And if you have, how to get the airdrop for the community?
Yes, we actually allocate some token, actually a lot. It will be used for airdrop to ontology communities. And but the time is not decided yet. And I believe there will be a process and to airdrop our tokens, but it's not decided yet. But I'm sure it will happen. And especially ontology has I heard the ONT ID actually can be used for like KYC, and it could be connected seamlessly with that. Airdrop, as airdrop need to go through the KYC process.
So Jun, would you please encourage your community and to get as much as they can from our airdrop from Top Network?
Of course, it's good event when the Top Network do the airdrop for the ontology network community, and welcome all our ontology fans and holder and the community member to join for the airdrop, the candy box coming to get Top Network. Maybe you can get benefits in the long term. Just like the ontology airdrop is currently is the largest the airdrop in the digital assets history. Everyone got very good benefits. So I hope Top Network airdrop also can get a lot of benefits.
Okay, so Jun, you mentioned ontology ID, right? So is ontology ID connected to the top scenarios?
Yeah. You mean top scenario?
Top scenarios. So is ONT ID connected to the top scenarios?
Okay. ONT ID connected, just mentioned, is like decentralized identity framework. They can private the KYC process. Not only in KYC, but KYC, of course, is important scenario globally. That means whenever what kind of your users come from, what kind of areas, maybe United States, China, Asia, Africa, you can get Europe, you can get KYC process in the same process and decentralized way. And more important is the KYC result can be managed by the user by themselves. They can store their KYC results and is reusable in next time you can use the KYC result. Besides that, not only linked to a traditional KYC service, also you can create your own KYC service. For example, you can link your Facebook, Twitter, or the other kind of account to prove this kind of belong to you. Even you can prove your own digital assets holding those kind of things. So the KYC will become different data service by yourself.
Okay, so Jun, it might be possible that you can predict the future because the next question from our community is about the KYC. You already answered. So the next question is for Top. So what niche market are you expecting to be a leader in? How will Top differentiate itself from the other competitors in the market?
So the market we are in is the communication service. Actually, it's not a niche market. It's a huge market. For example, let's say in the VPN market is about $100 billion, and even the VoIP, it's I remember it's $140 billion. So it's a huge market. And in this market, you know, we are the first one to offer the decentralized communication service. And there is no competitor in this area. However, you know, I think we are competing with the traditional model. I mean, the centralized model. But as a decentralized service, it has a huge benefit. For example, the cost will be much lower, and it's more secure, and price protect the user privacy. So if you app developer and want to build some communication apps, for example, a VPN app, a messenger app, you can build on top network that will hugely reduce your cost. Especially you don't need a lot of developers, and you don't need to deploy your backend servers, bandwidth. So and the development cycle will be much short. Don't do everything in-house. Building communication app is a horrible task. I encourage you to build something a service like Top Network.
Okay, so next question is for June. So is Ontology partner with TKY, and is SenseTime a direct competitor to TKY? Is SenseTime funded by the Chinese government? And how will this partnership increase the value of Ontology token?
I think SenseTime is we actually for the different the partners, not only like the blockchain industry, especially for the traditional the industries, or even for private support for public service from government. So Ontology actually is kind of infrastructure. They can link different kind of service partners from different industries because they private like the data, identity, and the protocol, even communicate protocol, also kind of infrastructure. They can support different infrastructure. So all those kind of infrastructure industry partner, they will provide a specific service. All the specifics integrated together will have a complex platform. People can do all kinds of decentralized collaboration based on ontology ecosystem or platform. That is what we are looking for.
Okay, so both of you are in the industry and for a long time, and maybe not just for the blockchain industry, and you had other experiences before. So is your blockchain project inspired by your past experience? And so what is your native upcoming blockchain inspiration in this industry? For both of you, maybe Steve, you can first.
Yes, of course, as a human being, past experience is really important, and it has a huge impact. Let me, introduce, the whole process, how we get started. I mean, the top network. Back to about 1.5 years ago, we were building the VPN app. The name is Gabi Pm. And when we just released the app, and we quickly realized we should build a decentralized VPN. And because the decentralized VPN offer much more security, and it cannot be blocked. Then we started thinking, why don't we build a network layer for everybody? I mean, every developer can build their own communication apps on the network. So that's how we get started Top Network. And I have been in the communication business for very long. It's almost 23 years ago. 23 years ago, I led a team in China, actually. We were building the original protocol demo of WebEx. Later, we moved the team to Silicon Valley. That's how WebEx product was designed and developed. So Yeah, as you know, Top Network is also about the communication service. So, in my personal experience, yeah, I'm always doing the communication stuff. Yeah, and it's all based on my past experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I before working for traditional financial company and institutions, and I find the blockchain is important. In that time, it's important for financial service. But I finally find, okay, blockchain have a lot of chance opportunity to change currently different industries, collaboration models, collaboration process. They will have a lower the cost for the whole collaboration and the business models. So that's why I joined the blockchain industry 3 or 4 years ago. In that time, blockchain still cannot say have an industry. There's still a name. So in currently several years, we found okay, we will want to have a blockchain infrastructure support a real business in different industry. That is important. Not only digits assets or not only digits industry and digitalized everything, but also the real business process. They can be accepted not only by the technical or the kind of digital assets technical, and also can be accepted by the legal system and the real business. That is our knowledge we want to do. That is what we are doing based on our private experience, private service for the government, for the financial institution. So that's why we moved to blockchain public chain.
Wow, very good experiences and very good answers. And the community has seen that you are so talented for both of you. And so next question will be very challenging. And so Tor Network got some investment from both NGC and OGC, right? And some community members think these two projects are quite different. And Tor Network is partnering with both of them. So could you explain your relationship among Tor Network and NEO and ONT? And maybe Steve, you can start first.
Okay, so NGC is one of the investor of Top Network, not NEO. I guess it's a get confused. Obviously, NEO is I guess is the LP, maybe LP of the NGC, but NEO didn't direct invest in Top Network. However, NGC, I mean the capital fund of Ontology, is the direct investor of Top Network. And that's secondly, and I think each project has its unique marketing position. There may be some overlap, but the marketing position is quite different. For example, Top Network is really focused on the communication service, and Ontology, as Jim just mentioned, is focusing on enable moving some business on the Ontology platform, for example, like gaming and communication, advertising, all those kind of ID, all those kind of service on Ontology. So it's kind of in different marketing position. Yeah.
Okay, Jim, what's your point of view on this?
Yeah, just Steven mentioned, it's a different marketing position, and also private different kind of service. In the next phase, I believe they will have a different kinds of blockchain, private, special, the service in different areas. And all those chains still can work together or integrate together, use different protocols, and build a more larger platform to link together to private service. So I think we can private our specific value for each other and build a whole more complex service in that state.
Okay, thank you. And next question is for Steve only. And so what is the point for using blockchain for decentralized communication, such as a VoIP or voice calling, video calling, live streaming? And can you answer the question?
Let me give some example about the benefit of moving the communication service to the blockchain. So let's start from the VPN service. Traditional VPN, a company, I mean the app developer, own a lot of VPN servers. Let's say 100 VPN server, And a VPN actually knows what kind of website you visited, and it has a lot of personal information. So it's a really, I would say, it's a dangerous service. If the app owner, the VPN owner, is evil, it could make a lot of trouble for the user. But for a decentralized VPN, the user information and your usage history is stored decentralized and encrypted on the blockchain. So nobody can get your information. The additional side, the decentralized VPN has so many nodes, let's say at least 10,000 nodes. And with so many amount of nodes, nobody can block it. So the network become unstoppable. So that's the benefit of VPN services. And let's move to the messenger service, okay? So centralized messenger service, let's say like a Facebook Messenger, like a WeChat, you don't have a lot of privacy. WeChat or Facebook, they can see anything. They can see your messages, they can see your friend list, and they can sell your data to anybody. That's a really dangerous situation. And if we move the messenger service to the blockchain, again, your message, your friend list is no longer visible to a centralized owner, and that really protect the privacy and make your communication more secure. So each communication service has its own benefit after moving to the blockchain platform. It's very different. For some service, it's mainly a cost issue, saving cost. Let's say the streaming service. Okay, a decentralized streaming service, the cost structure is much more lower than a centralized CDN. Because for streaming service, people doesn't care about the privacy and the security, those kind of things. So cost would be the biggest benefit. So again, the benefit is different for different service.
Okay, very impressive. And so the next question is for Jun only. So what is the plan of ontology networking to boost mass adoption of blockchain application globally?
Okay. Currently, ontology have actually two platforms. One is blockchain infrastructure, is multiple blockchain infrastructure. Multiple chains means we can provide not only the app service, we also can help different industry business build their own blockchain in the ontology network. Especially, we just released our sharding design. The sharding can support the network, transaction, and status smart contract. That is first. Design can support all the three things for sharding, and they can help the real business, especially high frequency and large scale business, easily build on ontology infrastructure. Another platform ontology is called Trust Collaboration Platform. They have lots of module already be private right now. Ontology ID, decentralized identity, data exchange, and reputation system, sign, signature service, and contract service. That means you can build your own business process on blockchain, ontology blockchain, very quickly. And all those processes not only can accept in a blockchain, also can be accepted in different legal systems. That can be support different kind of scenarios. We are talking to some traditional market, the player or some of the companies right now. They convert their decentralized service ontology. But of course, if your infrastructure is there and easily be used, I believe more and more industry partners will join this one. Yeah.
Okay. So next question, Steve. How can ISPs utilize the Tor network in order to be decentralized?
ISP, can make a contribution to the decentralized network. Actually, for example, a data center, a service provider, they can add nodes to the system. To the top network, and we will send the traffic, not we, but the system. The system will send the traffic to your node, and then you make money. Yeah. And with more and more nodes come to the top network, it will become a global decentralized communication network, and everybody can make money from there. And especially for small ISPs, you can really get the traffic.
Okay, so because I'm checking our Telegram group, and I can see only few ontology community members are joining the Top Network. So if you are watching the video, feel free to join the Top Network Telegram community. It's a part of the Airdrop cooperation between the two projects, and you will get well rewarded if you join our live. Okay, so in terms of the future development, as the market is going down and many new projects are dumping their either maybe Ethereum or Bitcoin into cash. So what's your future plan for revenue generation and for seamless operation for both of you? Maybe Jun, you can go first.
Yeah, I think just I mentioned the token design mechanism is important. In that space, just like Ethereum is truly just purely for the utility usage. And for ontology, one, of course, we have a good talk economic is important. Another part is we will try to enlarge our ecosystem, especially more and more application running on that, and more transaction every day. All those kind of transaction fee will benefit to our DApp developers and also for the ONT holders. So in the long term, when you have this kind of ecosystem can be running, and it can be running in the future and got enlarged in the future, there will be benefit for the supporter, especially for token holder as well. It's based on the ecosystem.
Okay, Steve.
Revenue is a frequent topic recently because the market goes very, very bare. And Top Network, as you guys know, we own some apps, not so right now it's apps. So we own some apps, and those apps are generating revenue. And even after we move those apps to the blockchain platform, become apps, they will still generate revenue. I mean, in fiat currency. So we will have continuously cash flow to support the project for many years, very long.
Okay, so thank you both. Next question is for Steve only. And so what's the biggest challenge for Top Network? And is there anything you consider a challenge or a threat to reach your goals?
I think the biggest challenge is the token economic, because it's a pretty new stuff. And so far right now, there is no model you can borrow from. I mean, a mature model. And so you have to, test and improve. However, the token economic is the most critical part of the blockchain ecosystem. So I cannot say, I have a huge confidence, say, okay, this token economic definitely works. I cannot say that. And I think we need to take some time to test the token economic and improve that. Maybe, we may need to have to radically change it. I don't know. So that's really a huge challenge. And to address this issue, so we will take another approach. We will have some apps and tokenize the app, and build a token economic into the app, and we will watch how that token economic works, and that will give us some useful experience, and then we can leverage this experience to improve the token economic in Top Network. I mean, the whole ecosystem. That's my current approach. But again, token economy is an art. I guess it's not a science. It's take time to figure out.
Yeah, it's a good saying that everything is kind of art. Just not only logic can explain everything. And here's a question from ontology community. Maybe some new fans of ontology are not aware of your project. So is ontology a utility token or not? And how are you ready to provide value during the global crisis and the fall of BTC? This is for Julie.
Okay. So I mentioned ontology have dual token. One is utility. ONG is utility, yes. But ONT is governance token. They can get benefit from the usage of ONG. For currently, of course, the market is not good right now, definitely. And next phase, like the Bitcoin or the other kind of utility token, is more like how many usage and another how many believers they think, okay, why I trust him, no matter they have a real use or not, I trust them, I'm willing to invest for them. But in next phase, I guess all those investors will be more smart, and they will do evaluate for different projects more carefully and closely. They will check, okay, what kind of ecosystem you can build and what kind of value you can provide, and how the token economic can get benefit from those kind of value you provide. So that is a challenge for all projects. But for this really good project, it's good news because you can show the real value for the investor, for the community, for your supporters. So it's a good chance in the bad market for the good project.
Oh, well said. It's a good opportunity for best project in the bear market. And because the market is bad and public blockchain is under threat by some of decentralized app projects. And some community members think that Top is launching the first decentralized VPN in the world. So they are very curious about that. And so will BitVPN be kind of a pure form of a decentralized VPN? This is for Steve.
Yes, BitVPN is a truly decentralized VPN. Let's talk from two aspects. First of all, user information. For example, you register account on BitVPN. The account information is not stored in our central database. It's stored in the blockchain with encryption. So nobody can get your personal information. I mean, even the government don't know who you are, why you are using the VPN. You don't know that. That's a really important information because VPN supports used to protect your privacy, right? And your information belong to you. So that's the first part. The user information will be decentralized. Secondly, the VPN server. For a VPN service, basically, you connect to the VPN server first. Then the VPN server relay the traffic to the internet. So the node, the VPN server, know what website you visited. For a decentralized VPN, there is no centralized VPN servers. So there actually, there are so many VPN proxy servers, and each one of them may relay a traffic, let's say 1% of your traffic, and they will 100 servers will help you. One user, one session. In this sense, your traffic is not handled by one server. It's handled by multiple servers. So nobody can get the overall picture about your web browsing information. So in this sense, it's a truly decentralized VPN network. So again, your user information is decentralized, and the VPN relay service is also decentralized, and it's truly respect and protect your privacy. And we are going to launch the Bit VPN very soon. And you can expect, it will offer radically new level of protection. I would really suggest you abandon the traditional VPN and move to the decentralized world.
So Steve, from what you said just now, it seems that the Bit VPN will beat all other VPNs in the world. And so if Bit VPN is so good, and can Bit VPN challenge some countries' strong firewall? Or yeah, what's your opinion on that?
So, Bit VPN as a decentralized service, it has a very, very strong anti-block, we call it anti-block capability. Means, it's really extremely difficult to block it. So I know, organization, company, or country may block the VPN service, and we know, what the technology they are using. And let me give you an example. Our current VPN, the Sky VPN, it's not a decentralized version yet. We have 1 million DAU in Iran only. In that country only, we have 1 million DAU. So the government really cannot block it. So you can see, what kind of advanced technology we have. So once the Sky VPN move to the decentralized world, become a Bit VPN, it's more advanced in anti-block. But I don't comment, what kind of country is good at blocking those kind of service. Each country has a different technology. And however, we don't do business in China, in other, maybe some other countries. So I don't know, what the China government is doing. I don't have comment about that.
Okay, so after those sensitive questions, let's be ready for some simple for some simple questions. So, Jun, from Ontology, is there any plan to reduce or increase your supply of token, and also for Tor Network? Jun, you may go first.
You mean the supply token?
Yeah. Do you have any plan to reduce or increase the supply of tokens?
No. The Ontology ONT token will be a fixed number. Never have a new supply. This is a fixed number. Since we have a dual token model, they can be circling, but we will never have the increased supply. That is a good thing for current holder.
Yeah. How about Tor Network? The same or different?
We haven't released the token yet, but our token distribution, I think our token economic design prevent us increasing the number of tokens. It is a fixed number.
Okay. So Steve, in terms of your technology, when will there be GitHub commits release, and will there be SDKs? Maybe like for ontologies, for ontology?
So we will release the SDK with the source code, open source, before we launch the mainnet. So it would be the end of June, around that time. The source code definitely will be open before the launch of the mainnet. Stay tuned. Okay. So now it comes to the last question, and it's under very hot discussion in both of the communities, and also on TVs. So we heard a lot of a blockchain company doesn't have tokens, right? So why there is token required for every service in blockchain? So can a blockchain company function without tokens? And Jun, you may go first.
Of course, for those kind of blockchain company, private is a technical service. They can do things without tokens. They can private just a technical service and build some product. But you want to private public service, the economic economic mechanism is you have to have those kind of a mechanism. Otherwise, you cannot. All those service, there is no free service. No matter calculation and storage, all those things have a cost. You have to design the economic mechanisms for this way. On the blockchain, the token is important economic mechanism for that. Without that, you cannot organize different kind of service, private, decentralized service. So for public service, the token is must have things, an important things. For those kind of private network or private technical service, they can do that without token.
Okay, great. How about your opinion, Steve?
I have completely the same view with June. For a blockchain, offer public transaction service without a token, there is no transaction. Transaction need something, right? Carry something. It's either money or token. But obviously in the blockchain is about a token. So I don't know why people say a blockchain can have non-tokens. It doesn't make sense. A private blockchain, people say, hey, we can build a private blockchain without the tokens. But my opinion is why you need a private blockchain. You just use a centralized system. That's it. So when we talk about blockchain, most of the time we are talking about a public blockchain. That's the value of the blockchain. And as a public blockchain, it has to have tokens so it can send a transaction. That's all about that.
Okay, so I know that I mentioned that it was the last question, but our community is so hard, and so the last question now. So will the token price be changed for both your projects, and do you have any predictions for your future price in the bear market?
Bear market is good chance. Also, it's good opportunity. I have mentioned last year. When the bear market is coming, the number of the project will be reduced very quickly. A lot of the project will disappear in next phase. And when the liquidity coming back, and they will find, okay, in top level projects, just a few top level projects will got focused by the investor, by the support. For this is what kind of project can be survived to the next the market, the good market come back. All those kind of project will be, I believe they will be recover again, even to over their high peak in the history price. So, but the things is you have to can make sure you can survive in the long term in next stage.
So Steve, I know that Tor Network hasn't released a token, but do you have any prediction for your top price?
So let me introduce my past experience. I went through the .com bubble burst on 2001, 2002. The whole internet industry was a horrible situation. Every company was, in the brink of bankrupt. Even like Amazon. At that time, Amazon, people say Amazon was a junk. Stock price should go to zero. But today, Amazon is almost a $1 trillion company. Even you buy Amazon stock at the peak time in 1999, peak time, you hold Amazon stock. Today, it's still 100,000 times the return. So you see, actually, the bear market is the best time to get good asset. And as Jim mentioned, bad project is gone, and the remaining project, become less. But the best one are still stay in the market. And obviously, Ontology is one of the best listed in the market today. For Tor Network, we haven't released the token yet. Obviously, we are talking with the exchanges. It will be listed not too far maybe several months or even maybe next month. But I don't predict the price of top network, top tokens. I cannot predict that. But from my past 20 plus years, especially I went to the internet bubble from the peak to the lowest point and come back again. So it's a really good time to acquire good asset at a desperate price. That's the best time.
Okay. So that's pretty much for today. And I know that 2018 was not that easy. And here's January in 2019. And both of you, do you have any maybe anything to say to our community members? And do you have any good wishes or suggestions and for 2019? Jun, you may go first.
Okay, maybe 2019 is will not be easy very quickly, but I think community member can do some things, and you can do more investigation or study for the project more deeply. And if you have technical background, you also can try to build your own application or own service, even build your own startup in this year, build on different public blockchain for that. And of course, I also wish the market will be good soon, and also hope if you are an investor, hope you can good return in this year as well. Yeah, let's work together for that. Yeah.
So my view, right now, obviously, is the tax time, and it may last for additional months. However, my personal view, it's not too far from the morning. So as people say, spring is not far behind the winter. Right now, it's a crypto winter, and spring. My personal view is spring is not too far. So as an example, again, 2001, 2002 was the darkest time in internet. But as if you check the history, you find that 2003, the market recovered, and 2004 it became a good market. And if you enter the market around that time, you definitely will have a wonderful return in your whole life. So that's my personal experience. And again, the blockchain seems like is going through the same process. The bubble busted, dark time, and recover. It takes a little bit of time, but the technology, the blockchain technology, the idea, I strongly believe it has a bright future. So as Jun said, let's spend more time on technology, build something useful, and the market will naturally recover. So don't look at the token price.
So thank you so much for your time and for both of you. And just like Steve just mentioned, and technology doesn't have winter. So let's focus more on the development and blockchain technologies. But if you really want to invest in some tokens, just as both has mentioned, and now is the best time. And so thank you so much again for both of you. And maybe I'll see you maybe around next time. And from January 2019, in Tor Network and Ontology, we have monthly corporations in both communities. Stay tuned, and I do believe that you will enjoy the next 6 months. Thank you so much.
Thank you, the community. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Okay.